Hi there, my name is Donna Wilson, and I am the manager of the Club Activities Office. In this video, we are going to go over how to submit a travel form on behalf of your club. I am going to start on the main page of WIN, but you can also find the travel form in the Canvas course or on the Club Hub website in the resource guide. The main page of WIN, you're going to want to scroll down, and then on the bottom right, you're going to find campus links. Towards the bottom, there's this travel form link right here, and that is going to take you to the e-sign to fill out the travel form. I already have one pulled up as an example that I'm going to go through with you. So my club is the Jellyfishing Club, and I am SpongeBob SquarePants filling out this form. So I'm going to put in the dates of the travel, which we're going to go on January 26th through January 30th. My club name, my name, I'm putting my Western email in here, and then my phone number. And then I'm going to copy and paste most of that information down here as well, because I am also traveling with the group. If I was submitting this on behalf of the club and not going with them, then of course I wouldn't put this in the traveler information. So I need to put in my name, my email, my W number, and my phone number. And then you'll see here for these other spots that it asks for full mailing address if requesting reimbursement. So if anybody else that I add here is not looking to be reimbursed for anything, then I don't need to put their address here. But I will want to click activity and club. And then if you want to add more people, you'll click there and it will add another person. So you'll need to do this for every person going. If it's pretty early in your travel planning, so like right now, that's a couple months away. So the travel form wouldn't need to technically be submitted yet. But I still want the office to know about it. I want to make sure I'm doing the form right. So I'm going to put in as many people as I know that are going, but then maybe I'll put a comment down here that this is subject to change. So yeah, here you can click to add as many additional travelers as you need. So we are going to start in Bellingham, and we're going to Ocean Shores, Washington for a jellyfishing competition. So in here, I'm putting the dates and the estimated time that we're leaving and returning. So we are currently planning on driving down at 10 a.m. and then arriving back in Bellingham at 8. So the purpose of the trip is our club is traveling to Ocean Shores to compete in the 2026 National Jellyfishing Competition. And university clubs across the campus come to this competition to compete for the title of best university jellyfishers in the country. And then if I had more information on this, I could paste that there, or I could paste the website, just trying to explain what the conference is. And then you're going to want to explain what the benefits are, how this relates to your club. So in here, I explain that the whole purpose of our club is to practice our jellyfishing skills and meet other people that also like to jellyfish. So I explain that this competition is a valuable experience for our members to grow and practice being in competition, get to make connections with many jellyfishers across the country, and those can be so beneficial in professional roles later on. And then in here, you're going to type in your itinerary. So if you are going to be stopping anywhere, if there's going to be a day in between for personal vacation, what that's going to look like. So I explained here that the total travel time is the 26th to the 30th, but the actual competition is just the 27th through the 29th. The 26th and 30th will be travel days. And then I explained, since we're driving, that we're driving down I-5 from Bellingham to Seattle. We're leaving at 10 a.m., so we're going to get to Seattle around lunchtime. So we're going to stop for lunch. And then we're going to get back on I-5 until we reach exit 101, and that's where we're going to merge onto US 101 until we get to Ocean Shores. And then I just wrote same thing for the way back. That's our plan. On the next part of the travel form, I'm going to select the different things that we'll be purchasing or needing reimbursements for, or just that apply to our travel. So in this example, travel by air does not apply. But if we were to be flying somewhere by plane, we would fill out this section and we would select our form of payment, our FAST index, our budget code. Those you can find on your budget tracker. The expected amount, you're going to want to overestimate here just to make sure that you're approved to spend enough. And then you'll select your account code, which would be non-employee airfare. When we are purchasing flights, there's a lot of information that it asks before we can check out for that purchase. So we're going to need information on the legal name that's stated on the photo ID, gender ID, on ID, your birth date, contact phone numbers, and email addresses. And then here you would say, you would give us the website of where you want these purchased. You could say your flight number or an airline preference, date, time preference, as much information as you can give us so that we can purchase that for you. And if it looks like a flight that's filling up pretty quick and you don't know that we're going to be able to fill this out on time or complete this on time, make sure you give us a backup option here. And then this section you will leave blank. That's just for our finance office to keep track of different purchases. So I'm going to unselect that in this instance. Similar information if you were traveling by bus or shuttle, you're going to put all of that in. But for this travel, we are going to do conference registration. So I want the university to pay for conference registration so I don't have to pay out of pocket and be reimbursed. If I did want to be reimbursed, I could do mail check to address, but I'm going to have the finance office place that for me. So in this drop down, you're always going to select FX Club. That's true for all clubs. And then your ASB number is what's different and what you can find on your budget tracker on the top right of it. And then the amount for registration is $500. The account code, this is not out of the country, so it's just going to be non-employee convention fees and registration. I put the conference name. I would put the website if I had one. And then because I want the finance office to go into my account and purchase the registration, I'm going to give my login information and my password here. And then in here, I would give any instructions. So I would maybe say, once you log in, it's already added to the cart. Or once you log in, you go to this tab and you add this many people. And definitely check out the registration before you give us this information to purchase. Because if the registration asks for emergency contact or dietary restrictions or accommodations, and anything else, we're going to need that information in here. So make sure you put that in there. And then again, this is going to be blank. This section is the same every time, unless one thing you're going to have be a reimbursement, or one thing you're going to have the finance office place, or you just want to check out a P card from the finance office because that's easier. And then FX Club, ASB amount. And then the account code is usually something and then also something out of the country. So unless you're going out of the country, it's going to always be the other one. I am going to fill out this lodging section because I do want the finance office to book a hotel for us. And I found a great one, Ocean Shores Pineapples. I'd put the location, phone number, website. I would also put instructions here on how to pay, whether that's over the phone or whether you pay via website, check-in date, check-out date, number of rooms, and then make sure you give any details in here. So I have please purchase 7 rooms, each with 2 queen beds. The most basic room is fine because there's often different kinds of rooms. And then I put the room assignments in here for them to fill out. So 14 people will be going on the trip. If anyone needs any accommodations or a different kind of room, make sure you put that in there as well. And then again, you leave that blank. And then meals, if that's something that you want reimbursed, we can do that as well. So meals, there's no way for us to pay for that up front. Unfortunately, we don't have cards that you can check out over travel, so that must be something reimbursed if you want that reimbursed. So that is going to be mail check to address always, and it's either going to be per diem or it's going to be meals actual. So that's up to you to decide if you want to be saving all of your receipts and attaching those and be reimbursed based on your receipts. We can definitely do that. It definitely can be a hassle for you to try to save all of those receipts and keep track of them. We can also do per diem. And if you're curious about finding those rates, I would go to WIN again, back on this campus links. You can go to the student engagement program offices. And then this resource guide that's for clubs. And right here, just looking to see where I can go, and I don't see anything for travel. So if I read down a little bit, I can see travel procedures, visit business services. So I'm going to click on that and click on travel right here. And I can also find information on filling out the travel form here. So right here it says 2 weeks prior to departure is when this is needed. However, that is when it needs to be approved by the top approver, which is our Dean of Students, Michael Sledge. So if we want to be purchasing things, that needs to be submitted much earlier. So it needs to be submitted at least 3 weeks to me, to the Club Hub. And then if you want something purchased earlier than that 3 weeks, then you're going to need to submit your travel form earlier. Scrolling down, you can find food and per diem. So you can click on that, and then you can find information here about per diem. And if you want to explore a little bit more about what that means. So these are going to be the Washington State per diem rates. And those change depending on what county you're in. So, like I said, per diem is just based on cost per meal, and so they do not require receipts. I'm going to go back up to the top to these links so I can see what the cost is for where I'm going. I like to use this site, and then you can either put in the location and what year it is, or you can browse by state. So I'm going to click on Washington. This is for lodging reimbursements. So if you scroll down, you can see meals. And right here, I can see Ocean Shores. And so the total that I could be reimbursed for one day for food would be 86. 22 for breakfast, 23 for lunch, and 36 for dinner, as well as $5 for incidental expenses. And then on the first and last day of travel, I could only be reimbursed $64.50. So you can use these numbers and the number of people to go back to your travel form and edit your estimate for how much you want to be reimbursed.